Alrighty, so thanks for agreeing to help me out with this. So my assignment is really to just have a conversation about something that's going on in your life. And if there's nothing else that you were thinking of that you want to talk about, I was thinking that you could tell me about how you're starting to study for your professional designations for certified financial planning, or exactly what it all is and what it entails. So what does that look like?
So it's not certified financial planning, that's a different designation. This is the designation for chartered financial underwriter, which is similar to the CFP, which is what you referred to. This is the CHFC, but it just doesn't have a board exam, and it has one extra class, but they're pretty similar in what you learn.
Okay, cool. So what's the process look like? Is it through like accredited university?
Yeah.
Is it through?
It's an accredited university called the American College. It's a nine courses. It's kind of your own pace of studying. So you have your own pace of study, and then you take an exam at a testing facility to prove that you have the knowledge to pass it.
Sure.
And then after 9, you wind up with the designation.
Cool. So 9 courses, studying for the exam, taking the exam, and then is there any sort of like continuing education that you have to do once you have passed all of the classes and the exam and stuff? Or is it once
no,
you
not that
have
I know
it?
of. You know that all these classes count for continuing education for all of my other licenses, like my insurance licenses, securities licenses, and mortgage license. So it
That's nice.
takes care of all that. Yeah, so basically by the end of it I should have racked up like 10 years worth of continuing education for everything else. So,
oh wow.
Yeah,
And
that's
can
nice.
you use it for 10 years? Or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it basically just racks up and then it'll slowly eat it away.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
We have killing 2 birds with one stone there.
Yep.
How are you feeling about the process? Like, it's been a while since
I started 7 days ago, 6 days ago. So, so far, so good. I dove in for a webinar series that I should be able to hammer out a class a month. So I should be able to be done in 9 months, when I think the average person takes 2 to 3 years. So I set a lofty goal for it. So I jumped in this webinar series that was already happening. And I think I jumped in one of the harder classes, which is investment and investment theory. But my bachelor's degree is in finance, and so it seems like it's very similar, but more in depth than anything I learned in that.
Just jumping right in for it. Do you have any, are you nervous about the process at all? Are you nervous about any time management, since you're also running a business on the side, or how do you feel about all of that?
At this point, I have it set up to where I've carved out 2.5 hours twice a week in the middle of work days. So we'll see how that goes. If that doesn't work, I'll move it to evenings or mornings. And then also need to have time set aside to read the book or books. So I'm feeling okay about that. It's new. We'll figure it out as we go. It's definitely a lofty goal, but I think I can do it. Technically, I need to have it done by the end of 2020 for some other work stuff that I need to either have a securities license Series 65 or have this finished, and this is just a more encompassing thing and gets other things done. So.
Okay. What are the benefits from getting your CHFC designation?
Knowledge and working with customers, so helping people decide what to do with money and where to put it and what to expect, and being able to explain financial products with more technical knowledge. So it's a lot of technical knowledge that your average financial planner or financial advisor doesn't know. Financial planners would, but most financial advisors don't get that far into the weeds. And I'm a fairly analytical person, so just want to know those things. Helps me understand.
Absolutely. Is it a marketable skill? Can you?
Yeah, at the end of your name. So when you look up a financial planner or an insurance agent, they'll have letters at the end of the name sometimes. So I mean, it's marketable in that regard, where it makes you look like you know more than other people, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know how much it'll help with that. More personal knowledge.
It's letters behind your name, which looks
And
good.
personal confidence
And,
in dealing with customers, just knowing that I have the knowledge to really help people.
Nice. So with the thought that you have a goal to finish the classes in about 9 months, how would you feel if that didn't happen? Like, how would you feel if it took longer? Do you feel like...
Well, it's not really an option for it to take longer. So frankly, if I'm not on track at the end of this year, so if by the end of 2019 I haven't gotten through 4 to 5 of the courses, I'll change gears and move to studying for the Series 65, because that's one test, where this is 9 tests. So it's that I'm very confident I can get done in a few months, but I'd just as soon do this.
Great. And then, so you said, if I remember correctly, that you have to do the Series 65 or this program for some work stuff.
Yeah.
Is it required by State Farm that you're doing it, or is
No, it's an optional piece of the position. So we State Farm has an investment wing, and if I want to stay doing that investment planning, helping customers with that, I do need one of these 2 things.
Okay.
So I don't have to. I could technically not do it, but yeah, I prefer to keep doing that.
Is it something that it's like required by like the state or like a federal agency, or is it just something that's required by State Farm?
No, there's a long history behind it. A couple years ago, Obama had signed some legislation, or actually it was an executive order, around best practices within the financial industry. It's since been repealed. However, I personally think it was the better thing to do in protecting consumers. But State Farm assumes that a future president could possibly put it back into place, so they're moving their processes into a spot where we're just going to abide by those rules, whether or not they're still required.
So it's best practice essentially, and so it's just a good idea to get it done and be able to have that knowledge for your clients and for yourself and operate under the best practices.
Yes.
So that's great. Is there any other like aspect of getting all of that certification that you want to talk about, or think that would be helpful to know, or?
No, I mean, most of it comes down to, I just like having the knowledge. I like learning and getting new things. I haven't really had I learn things all the time, just in the business. Things change, and there's updates to pieces, but haven't had any sort of formal education since college, and it's just nice to be expanding my knowledge.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way about doing all my master's programs. It's nice to have like professional personal growth, I guess you could say, like learning new knowledge.
Just professional growth.
Yeah, just professional growth works. And then I was gonna ask one more thing. Have you told your team about it?
Yeah.
At your office, they know.
Yeah, and my door is shut for 3 hours, 2 days a week. So
nice. So they know.
They know why.
Leave you alone.
I'm not just napping.
And studying.
Yeah. I'll learn 3-hour naps a couple times a week. So maybe I'll quit this and just do that. That sounds great.
That does sound nice. All right, well, awesome. Thank you so much for telling me about the process and for letting me videotape
Almost
it.
any time.
Sounds good. Thanks.